Well, the oil pump didn't come with the gasket. First oil pump was the wrong oil pump. Some guy typed in V6 oil pump for a 90s Caravan or something, and for a 70s Chrysler, and a little logistic error. But we got the second oil pump. Second oil pump was good. It's the right oil pump. Guy didn't throw a gasket in there, so then we gotta wait till tomorrow for the pump. But I got it all painted. Still a little prettier. All this crap's gonna come off. Some headers, zoomies will happen. I got the transmission painted. Whenever you guys do these transmissions, you paint one ear of the converter, because that flywheel's off shaped. One ear of that flywheel is different than all the others. So if you just spray paint it any color you want, you'll be able to put it back together real easy. All right, I'm going to put a starter in it. And then when the new oil pump comes, we're going to pray we got oil pressure. That pan had mud in there. Hopefully you just couldn't pick it up. I blew air through the pickup tube, cleaned out the pan, made it Ford blue because Chrysler doesn't want to sell Chrysler colors at affordable prices. So, and they don't stock them at auto parts stores anyway. Impatient me, I'm not going to wait 4 days for eBay to sell me a $10 can of paint for $50. So Ford blue it is. Should make it a little bit more reliable. Ha ha. But there we are. I'll throw in a little bit of bolting the transmission up here in a second. Got the hoist set up here with the leveler. I'm pulling the transmission bolts out, or my stand bolts here. Before I go putting the transmission to the motor, always spin that converter. It has a drop in there to catch the pump. And if you look at the front of it, it's got a cutout because it's keyed. You'll hear 2 clicks when you spin this. Doop, doop. It'll be all the way back. If you don't do that, it won't bolt up. If you got an overdrive transmission, you'll hear 3. Doop, doop, doop. So just make sure that thing's seated. And if you ever have a problem that this won't bolt into that, you don't have this back far enough. You can actually break the converter teeth, or you can break the pump if you don't have it back in there. And when you put it in there, it should have a gap, and this will actually pull to the flywheel with the bolts. And always put Loctite, blue Loctite on the bolt, on these bolts, because it'll make a knocking noise. It'll go around and hit the ribs on the back of the motor. So I used a wrench here on my crank. I pre-spun my painted ear there. I'm going to spin this around. Just make it easier. So put a board plate, whatever, on your jack. You don't want to go exactly on the transmission pan. I'll set that on there. Alright, so the converter slid forward. I put it up on the jack. So we're going to spin it. 1, too. Now we know it's back in there far enough. We can put it together. So I just took a minute to scrape these mating flanges. There's no rear support. We're going to have a motor plate on the front. These two got to mate together, and then the rear support back here for the transmission. So I just like to clean these up with a putty knife and steal my old lady's dish scraper thing, you know, the steel wool or something. Clean it up a little bit. We'll bolt her together. So the transmission and the block will have these built-in locating dowel pins. I already got the one dropped in over there. I'm gonna put them together. Stab me a bolt. All right, I got them together, and we're gonna put a bolt in. After this bolt, be able to put the other bolts in, and then put a starter on it. I'm out here by myself. Trick is that leveler, that hoist, and a jack with a plate. Concrete floor helps. I folded this jack and had to re-weld it once out in the concrete driveway. Just went meep, crushed the front of an old Cordoba fiberglass front end. Uncle wasn't too happy, but it can be done in the gravel. All right, I got all the bolts in. A couple come from the engine and come back. Use my official Redneck torque gauge on these bolts. It's a 3/8 ratchet of questionable existence. It says it's an Armstrong. And 1, 2 Ugga-Duggas. She should be tight enough. You gotta remember, this is cast iron. This is aluminum. We're not going for death, and you don't want to pull. This needs to be together. You don't want to pull it in. If you're having to pull it in with these bolts, check that torque converter. Or you're doing something custom and you got the wrong flywheel. So, remember how we spray painted that when we took it apart? Or you might not have been there for that, but anyway, one of these ears is different than the other. Doesn't matter which one, we really don't care. We just need to spray paint one of them. We're going to take some blue Loctite. Little dab will do you. On that there. That's all you need. We're going to put the torque converter bolts in. And it's going to be an Ugga with just a wrench. Once we can move that flywheel, we're good to go. Looks like Nightmare's come to see us. He's a big help. You want to tighten these to the point that when you get like 90 degrees off of it here, come on, baby. It spins the whole everything. Should be able to spin. If you put this loose, any one of these, it'll go up there and it'll catch a rib on that block, and you'll play hell because this won't move. The motor won't move anymore. You won't be able to put the next bolt in. So tighten that down all the way to where this thing will rotate by pulling on it. Don't ask me how I know. So this is the inspection cover. Dollar store sells this stuff. Oven cleaner. Any oven cleaner work. Stuff's $1.25. I've already done this, but it was disgusting. You can believe what it looked like. Spray that shit on there. Paper towels, a little elbow grease. That's all you need to clean this stuff up for paint. Saw a little black on there's engine. Supposed to have ceramic. Says it'll work up to 500 degrees. Yeah, questionable. But we got her painted, we'll get her put on. Got the starter put on and the fly. We got our supervisor out here. He only comes out and tells me when he's hungry. This is how I roll. Every size I'm gonna need, he's got its own ratchet. Just makes my life happy. Got the inspection cover on. Gonna tighten her down. So I got this GM. It's supposed to go inside the coil or inside the distributor on a GM. It's the HEI control module. It just dissipated heat to the distributor on the GM, but I made up this heat sink. This is going to actually be my ignition with a MSD coil that doesn't use a ballast resistor. Okay, the HEI is bolted down, and the distributor's there. Got the new button, got the new cap. Wires are coming tomorrow. We probably done for the day. What do you think, Nightmare? You hungry? Yep, Nightmare's hungry. Mom wants some outlets put in. Oil pump supposed to be here tomorrow. Wires. Maybe she'll live again. Hopefully don't put no picture windows in the side. A little extra aeration. I'm feeling good about it, but you never know. Check in sometime. Hopefully this dinosaur boat anchor big block will make the old truck run here soon. Check in. Later.